Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Jennifer Scrapping Cane. Today I'm sharing an 11 by 8.5 layout. This is using a Flavors of the Month kit from the Scraproom that I received last month as being a guest designer. I wanted to go ahead and finish off these kits and show you how many layouts you can actually make with them if you receive them monthly. This one here, I already created one other layout. I'm going to create another one today. I'm not going to use all 4 photos. I'm just showing you that I reprinted the original photos, lightened them up a little bit, and zoomed in a little bit. So it's a little bit of a better picture. These pictures are from 1946. This is my dad and his siblings. My dad is the youngest child in the photos. And I have some die cuts, which are tags, and the grass that I'm going to use to cut out some tags, obviously, and grass. So here I have this plaid paper that I love that was part or from the other layout that I created. So it's already cut down. I also have the scrap piece that's left over of it that's red on the other side. And then the green, that's a scrap piece also. That one was a full sheet. That's going to be my background. And then the sticker sheet. So here we're going to get started on the layout. The design is going to be pretty close to the original one that I did first, and that's because the papers are already cut down. Yes, I could have cut them down and went a different way, but again, I have another portrait photo and landscape photo, and this design works perfectly for it. I'm also going to use some of the items that were included from the embellishment kit that was included with the kit. She gives you embellishments and they're at random. So I got a few of the die cuts and little items like the little circle tag you see up there at the top that says Our Family. And then the one down at the bottom that says We Are Better Together. Those came with that. So I'm going to get those on the layout. And then I picked some of the stickers off of the sticker sheet to also use on the layout. So there, I went ahead and matted both photos in red, one of them in the checkered plaid color red, and then the other one in the orange or the polka dot red. Sorry, messing up my words this morning. The polka dot words. So here I'm just going to pop it up on play foam, and that's so that I can tuck the tag in the back. And that's something that I do often. If I'm going to tuck the tag in, I will pop it up with play foam so the tag slides in and out easily. So here I'm just putting that tag up there. I'm going to put a flower at the top of the tag instead of like I could have used ribbon or string or something like that. I decided that flower was pretty cute, and I'm going to pop it up also so that when it slides in, it'll kind of like keep it up at the top and it won't fall down, even though it really can't because the play foam is already behind there, but it does kind of make it latch on there. So I kind of like that. And it is overlapping the photo. So here's the little grass that I cut out with the die cut. It wasn't quite big enough to go all the way across, so I cut 2 of them. I'm going to cut one of them down, and actually I accidentally cut it a little bit too small. Not too much, just slightly. And instead of, recutting it and wasting more of the green paper, I decided to go ahead and just go with it. And I'm going to tuck in some of the scraps from the other one. I'm going to cut it into a couple of sections and I'm going to lay it behind this one. So it's going to look like there's double layers of grass in certain areas. Not all the way across, of course, because it's not going to fit all the way across, but I think it hides the mistake and it looks good in the end, so it's okay. So just like that, I'm going to tuck them in. I did use a little bit of distressing ink to distress the grass and make it a little bit more detailed on the grass. That's something that I like to do. If I don't use black ink, then I'll use the same color of ink. If it's something like this, which the grass, definitely needed to be green. So that's what I did. I'm just attaching down those grass pieces. They're a little bit too high up at first. I didn't want them that noticeable, so I'm going to tuck them back down. There we go, that looks better. And then this one here, I'm going to have to piece onto this one. and then lay the other grass down. And I actually shouldn't have glued this down just yet because now I have to fiddle with it to get the play foam underneath it, but it works out in the end. It's fine. So there we go. I got it all attached down. I'm going to have to hold it in place because I can't get the ATG underneath there. So I need the liquid glue to dry. Luckily, this is quick drying liquid glue. And I'm going to put the little doily up here at the top. And then I'm going to place this photo that goes landscape down at the bottom. And that is my dad with his 4 of his 5 siblings. The youngest one was not born yet. So there's only 5 in this photo. Like I said, I only have very few. Actually, I think I only have one where it includes all 6 children in the photo. I have quite a few photos that include all 5 since he was the 5th child, but I don't have very many that include all 6. So here's that little label piece that says, what does it say? It says, "Life is so much better together." And again, these photos were taken on a farm that they lived on until I believe he was 5. And then they moved to Hays, Kansas, which was just a little bit further from here, or St. Francis, actually. This is Hays, Kansas. And this is actually a wheat farm that they were living on, and it belonged to my grandpa's mom, so my great grandma. And my grandma did not like living on this farm. She did not like her mother in law. They were not the best of friends. So they had a lot of issues living on the farm. But my dad and his brothers always talked fondly of the farm. They liked living on the farm. But again, they were boys. So my dad did a lot of 4-H and, raised little cows and stuff like that on the farm, even when they didn't live on the farm, because of course, he would go help his grandma. So they definitely lived the farm life. So here I have this little horse, which I thought kind of looked like the horse in the photos. The horse in the photo, his name is Shorty, and he's a farm workhorse. He's not actually one that they're supposed to be riding on, but he was very gentle and very nice, and he would allow them to ride on him all the time. And as you can see, they're riding bareback. There's no saddle, no ropes, um, and they did this quite often. So here I finished up the layout, just showing you a little close-up, and I will have a few close-ups also here in a minute. I did decide to bring in rub-ons, and at first I thought I was going to use the 49 Market ones, but they're actually a little bit bigger than I thought they were. They weren't going to fit on the grass, but I still have rub-ons from Memory Makers, which is an older company, and or Making Memories. And their rub-ons came the same way as 49 Market, except for they were attached together, so you could flip through them like this. They still work. The only issue I had is because the grass is popped up on foam, it takes a lot of effort to get them to rub on, but normally it doesn't. I've used them a lot over the years, and it really doesn't take a lot of effort to rub them on usually. But these ones definitely are getting old. They're probably, some of the packs are probably 15, maybe older than that, years old. So they're definitely older and definitely need to be used. But I don't want to toss them out. I still have lots of vowels left in some of the packs. I had multiple packs of these letters. And if I ever get to the chance where I flip through my older son's albums, you will see how many rub-ons I actually used to use back in the day. Rub-ons were my favorite. So I'm just showing you that they still work. There's the Y. I'm going to skip the rest because, like I said, it did take a while to get it to rub on. I just put Shorty over there underneath the horse. I put Kansas over underneath the other photo on the left-hand side. And then I put the year 1946 up at the top where it says our family. The tag pulls out. I will add journaling to the tag. And that is my layout. I hope you guys enjoyed today's layout. I definitely enjoyed creating it and thoroughly enjoy using my Scraproom kits each month. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Like and subscribe, and I will see you then. Bye!